Good morning, everyone. We are Group 7. I'm Fanny, Wang Fangyu. These are my team members, Cindy, Wen Minghui, and Lauren Shi Luxian. Today, our topic is dealing with accidents and emergencies. We divided our presentation into 11 parts. First, I'm going to teach you some vocabularies from the scenario 2. Second, Cindy and I will have a dialogue of the scenario. Next, Cindy will focus on the listening practice and teach you some vocabularies. Later on, I will talk about the vocabularies about activity 2. And after that, Lauren and I will play a short dialogue of it. And next, Lauren is in charge of high and low context culture. After that, we have a short break. After taking 10 minutes break, we will invite each group to make comments on our presentation. After commentary, Lauren will play a short video about our inside story. Finally, we will choose a best commentator and give you our feedback. So now I'm going to talk about 3 vocabularies from the scenario 2. Please turn to page 50. The first vocabulary is fiasco. Please repeat after me.
Fiasco.
It means something planned goes wrong and is a complete failure, usually in an embarrassing way. For example, the show was a fiasco. One actor forgot his lines and another fell off the stage. Please repeat the example.
The show was a fiasco. One actor forgot his lines and another fell off the stage.
The second one is accommodation.
Accommodation.
It means a place to live, work, or stay in. For example, there's a shortage of cheap accommodation.
There is a shortage of cheap accommodation.
The last one is non-refundable.
Non-refundable.
It means something you cannot return after you bought it. For example, the check-in desks close 40 minutes prior to departure. So if you're late, you're stuck with a non-refundable ticket.
The check-in desk closes 40 minutes prior to departure. So if you are late, you are stuck with a non-refundable ticket.
So this is the end of the vocabularies about scenario 2. Now, Cindy and I will play a short conversation about scenario 2. Cindy, I have to say yesterday's dinner was a big success. Our clients were all surprised to see their family showing up at the reward dinner. You and your team did a very good job. You handled that near fiasco pretty well too.
Thank you. We are glad to hear that your clients are happy with our arrangement. It's our responsibility to make sure everyone is smiling from beginning to end.
Oh, I nearly forgot. One of the VIPs said he would love to stay for another couple of days with her family. So she hopes you can help her arrange local accommodation, rebook her return flight, and arrange a mini tour.
Sure, we do frequent business with this hotel, and I'm fairly certain that there are vacancies with these few days. We also cooperate with numbers of local travel agencies, and they can customize the tour based on customers' needs.
Great. I suggest you talk with them about the further details. I will give you their contact information later.
However, there is a problem with regard to rebooking the flight. Since the tickets are non-changeable and non-refundable, I'm afraid that they have to purchase new tickets.
Again, I think you'd better talk with them about the extra charges because we can't be responsible for that either.
Actually, we have had a lot of experience dealing with sudden and unexpected requests from our clients. You can count on us to deal with this matter.
Thanks a lot indeed for your help. One more thing, do the clients have to check out of the rooms by themselves?
That won't be necessary. Our assistants will help them to check out. However, if there are extra charges such as beverage or laundry, it will be charged to their credit card automatically.
Sure, that makes sense. They should be aware of that.
Hi, my name is Cindy. The next part is vocabulary from the listening practice. I will tell you 4 vocabulary in this part. The first vocabulary is less than ideal. Please repeat after me.
Less than ideal.
This term means not good enough or being unsatisfied with something. Let's take a look at the example. Although it was a less than ideal situation, if she heard no objection, she would take it that the committee agreed to the method of work.
Although it was a less than ideal situation, if she heard no objections, she would take it that the committee agreed to the method of work.
Thank you. Let's move on to the next vocabulary. Company minor.
Unaccompanied minor.
This word means children aged 12 years or below travel alone. And if you want to let a child travel alone by airplane, the airline company will have extra charge on this, and they will help you to make sure there is someone escort him or her when he or she check in to another country. Let's take a look at the example. Please note our flight attendant cannot continuously monitor an unaccompanied minor during their flight.
Please note our flight attendants cannot continuously monitor an unaccompanied minor during their flight.
Thank you. The next vocabulary is deteriorate.
Deteriorate.
This word means something become worse in some ways. Let's take a look at the example. Relations between the 2 countries have deteriorated sharply in recent weeks.
Relations between the 2 countries have deteriorated sharply in recent weeks.
Let's take a look at the last vocabulary. Remedy.
Remedy.
This word have 2 use. There are 2. You can use it at 2 ways. The first one is a noun. It means a medicine or a treatment. And as for a verb, it means cure or make up. Let's take a look at the examples. First, if you use it as a noun, I don't suppose there will ever be a remedy for that.
I don't suppose there will ever be a remedy for that.
And if you use it as a verb, if I made a mistake, I will try to remedy it.
If I made a mistake, I will try to remedy it.
Okay, this is the end of the vocabulary part. Next, we will have a listening practice. Please turn to your page 51. And after listening to the soundtrack, they will have 3 true and false questions. Please listen carefully.
Listening practice. Listen to the following conversation. If the statement is true, please write T. If false, write F.
Dealing with problems. Excuse me, Mr. Goodman. The awards dinner will begin soon, but one of the VIP's families still hasn't arrived yet. Do you know if there's a problem?
Really? Let me reconfirm. 1 minute later. Ms. Westfield, after contacting my company headquarters in Taiwan, I was informed that Mrs. Wang, the wife of a VIP, cannot show up at the dinner tonight. On her way to the Kaohsiung airport this morning, she discovered that her passport is already expired, and it's too late to apply for a new one for her. So, she is unable to travel outside of Taiwan.
How come? This is ridiculous. Didn't your colleagues check the family members' passports in advance? And why have you only been informed about this right now? Your company should have been in touch with you as soon as they discovered there was a problem. This should not have happened with an experienced and professional travel company like First Incentive Travel.
We're terribly sorry. Now we're trying to see what we can do to make the best of this less than ideal situation. My colleague just phoned and told me that Mr. Wang's 2 little children are already on their way to Hong Kong, having taken the earliest available flight. I can't guarantee that they will arrive before the awards dinner begins, but they should be able to catch it before it ends, hopefully.
Are you sure? Their kids are just 8 and 10 years old. How can they travel alone from Kaohsiung to Hong Kong and to the hotel?
Don't worry. We made arrangements with the airline company, saying there would be 2 unaccompanied minors traveling alone. The airline has handled cases like this numerous times, and will be responsible for taking care of them from check-in till arrival. Then, one of our project assistants will pick them up at the airport.
Well, all I can say is that it better work out the way you've just put it. I'm already disappointed with how matters have unfolded so far, and would hate to see things deteriorate further.
I do apologize again. We understand it's our mistake. I promise this won't happen again, and that everything will go well at tonight's dinner party. Please let me know if we can do anything else to remedy this situation. 1. Mrs. Wang missed her flight to Hong Kong because she didn't have a valid visa. 2. Sarah is unhappy with the follow-up arrangements First Incentive Travel made. 3. Roger attributed the mistakes to his colleague's faults.
Okay, let's take a look at the first question. Miss Wang missed her flight to Hong Kong because she didn't have a valid visa. Did anyone know the answer? Okay. False. Yes, the answer is false. Let's take a look at the next question. Sarah is unhappy with the follow-up arrangement First Incentive Travel made. Sammy. False. False. Yes, the answer is false. And the last question. Roger attributed the mistake to his colleague's fault. Is it true or false? Okay, Dora.
False.
False. Yes, the answer is false. Yes, this is the end of the listening practice. Next, I will give the floor to Fanny.
Hello, I'm Fanny. Before Lauren and I have a short conversation about activity 2, I'm going to talk about some vocabularies. There are 3 vocabularies in this part. The first one is adverse. Please repeat after me.
Adverse.
It means to have a negative or harmful effect on something. For example, the match has been cancelled because of adverse weather conditions.
The match has been cancelled because of adverse weather conditions.
The second one is indigestion.
Indigestion.
It means the pain you get in your stomach when you eat food that is difficult to digest. For example, do you suffer from indigestion after you have eaten?
Do you suffer from indigestion after you have eaten?
The last one is compensate.
Compensate.
It means to pay someone money in exchange for something that has been lost or damaged. Let's look at the example. We compensate workers for injuries suffered at their work.
We compensate workers for injuries suffered at their work.
So this is the end of the vocabulary about activity 2.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Lauren. Now, Fanny and I will have a role play involving an on-site project manager and a client with some troubles. How do we solve this situation? Please listen to the dialogue carefully.
Sorry, my husband felt very uncomfortable since last night after dining in the hotel restaurant.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. How is he now, and what kind of help does he need?
He said he would like to fly back to Taiwan immediately and hopes you can arrange the next available flight for him.
Well, because of the adverse weather conditions, I'm afraid that all the flights to Taiwan have been cancelled.
So what can we do now?
Well, your husband probably cannot get used to the local food. I think he suffers from indigestion. We should take him to the doctor first. After taking the medicine, he will feel much better.
Okay, this is the only thing we can do now.
And don't worry, we promise to compensate you for the loss and apologize for having caused any inconvenience. After taking the medicine, if your husband still insists on flying back to Taiwan, we will book the return ticket for you as long as there are any available flights. And this is the end of activity 2. Now I will introduce a new topic about high and low contest culture, which called power distance. Power distance means the degree to which people in a country accept that power is distributed unequally. More precisely, in high power distance culture, hierarchy is an essential part of the society. People tend to believe that power and authority are the facts of life, and they accept and value unequal power. In high power distance culture, boss and leaders are expected to resolve the disputes as well as making all the difficult decisions. And the subordinates just simply comply with their leaders rather than challenge them. On the contrary, low power distance culture is egalitarianism. People accept relatively equal power, and subordinates prefer being involved in decisions and resolving a conflict. They express their own points of view openly and freely. Now I will show you a video which can let you understand more details about high and low power distance culture.
Cultures may differ on high versus low power distance. In high power distance cultures, authority is perceived as vertical and formal. Teachers are seldom questioned in high power distance cultures. People in authority are considered superior. Superiors typically show leadership and initiative. Directness and informality is considered insulting. Cultures with lower power distance perceive authority to be informal and horizontal. Students are expected to show initiative. Managers or bosses are just members of the team. To be formal and indirect may be considered pompous and arrogant. Teachers can be called Professor Smith in high power distance cultures. While in low power distance cultures, a professor may be just called Bob. Countries with high power distance are Russia in Southeast Asia, China, Middle East, Mexico, and India. Countries with low power distance are United Kingdom, Germany, and the United States.
This is the end of our high and low context culture. Now we will have 10 minutes break to prepare the comment.
Let's welcome Group 1 to make comments.
Good morning, we are Group 1. My name is Liang Tina. They are my group members, Dora Zhang Xuchen and Zoe Wu Zhirao. Today in our comment, we would like to share our individual feedbacks with you. First, I'm going to talk about Cindy and Fanny's stage performance. They are more and more confident than before and maintain good eye contact with the audience. As for Lauren, she was professional and confident as usual. She also made good use of the vocal varieties in her presentation. This is the end of my comment. Now I would like to give my floor to Dora.
Hello everyone, I'm Dora Zhang Xuchen. Now I would like to share my comment. I think their vocabulary part impressed me the most because most of the groups put the whole vocabulary in one section, but Group 7 divided into 3 parts that connected to the Scenario 2, listening practice, and the vocab activity 2. And I think it is considerate that because when focused on their listening practice, scenario, and activity part, it is more easy to understand what they are talking about because I still remember what they just told us. And besides, same as other groups, they put related pictures at the corner that can help me more understand the new words. This is the end of my comment. Next, I would like to give the floor to Zoe.
Hi, I'm Zoe Zhirao. I am going to talk what I learned from them and make a brief conclusion. First, I learned some vocabularies about airports and emergencies. For example, unaccompanied minor means the alone traveler who are under 12 years old, and remedy has 2 ways to use. The first means the medicine, and second one means cure and makeup. And second, I think they are very considerate because they highlight the vocabulary and perspiration in a scenario. And finally, Lauren introduced the power distance. In a high context culture, their management style is vertical. In contrary, in
low context culture. Their management style is horizontal. I think this is very useful and practical because one day we will have to enter into a company, and I think this knowledge may make more understand the different culture. In conclusion, we think Group 7 did a great job. Fanny and Cindy becomes more confident, and Lauren is confident as usual. And they also very considerate. And we learn a lot of useful information from them. And this is our comment. Now let me give a floor to Group 2.
Good morning, we are Group 2. My name is Sharon Zhang Yanning. They are my group members, Sophie Tsailing and Tsailing. Today we divided our comments into 3 parts. First, I will talk about the high-low contest. After that, Sophie will focus on the vocabulary. Finally, Sammy will continue to talk about the scenario and the stage performance. In the high-low contest part, Lauren told us the power distance, and in the high power distant countries, people will obey to the supervisors because there is a hierarchy system in the company, like the country in Latin America and Asia. On the contrary, the low power distant countries is USA and Germany. In these countries, people are willing to express their ideas openly because everyone is egalitarian. And I think this part is useful because we may go to other countries to get a job in the future. So I think it is better to know the atmosphere in this class. And that's the end of my comment. I'll give the floor to Sophie.
Good morning, my name is Sophie Tsailing. Now I'm going to focus on the Cindy's vocabulary part. First, I think she introduced those words are very useful, and they also put the picture under the vocabulary that audience can understand clearly. And I learned 4 words from her. The first one is less than ideal, and it means be unsatisfied with something. And the second is unaccompanied minor. It means children age 12 years old or below who travel alone. The third one is deteriorate. It means something becomes worse in some day. And last one is the last one is the last word means treatment. The last word is remedy. It means medicine and treatment. And the other hand is mean makeup and And this is the end of my part. Next, I will give the floor to Sam.
Hi, I'm Sammy Nicolti. I'm in charge of their scenario and individual stage performance part. First, in their scenario part, I noticed that they not only highlighted their collocations, they also highlighted the vocabulary that they mentioned before. Next, I'm going to talk about their individual stage performance. First is about Lauren's part. I think she's as calm as usual. And I came here earlier this morning and I noticed that all of them was practicing their lines again and again. And the second one I'm going to talk about is Cindy's stage performance. Actually, she doesn't feel well today. I asked her maybe she can take a rest after she finished her part. but she insisted to stay here and wanted to choose the best commentator. And finally, I'm going to talk about Fanny's part. She really makes lots of progress. She showed her confidence in the opening, and she also talked very loudly and more fluent. And in the activity part, I noticed she plays as a wife, and she sounds very worried about her husband. I think she did very well this time. In conclusion, we have learned lots of things from their high-low context, vocabulary, and scenario part. This is the end of our comments. I would like to give the floor to Group 3. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. We are Group 3. I'm Aiyu Xue. She is my team member, Catherine Shuyan. In our comment, we divided into two parts. First, I will talk about vocabulary and PPT design. Later on, Catherine will focus on high and low context culture and make a conclusion. In my comment, I think Group 7 did a great job. They gave us many useful and new vocabularies like remedy. When it used as noun, it means medicine or treatment. When remedy used as verb, it means cure or make up. Another word is unaccompanied minor. It means the child aged 12 years or below who travel alone. Also, the PPT design is clear and wonderful. They highlight the important vocabularies and prepositions. They also give the related picture in vocabulary part. It let us memorize easily. This is the end of my comment. Let me give floor to Catherine.
Good morning, I'm Catherine Xueyaju. Now I'm going to talk about the high and low context culture. Group 7 are focused on power distance today, and this word it means the extent that people accept unequal distribution of power in a society. And first of all, Lauren gave us a clear explanation of the difference between high and low power distance culture. After that, they show us a video to give us more detailed information. The high power distance culture is hierarchy, and they accept unequal power, so people are don't express their opinions openly, and they are less likely to question their boss. However, in low power distance culture, they are egalitarianism. They accept equal power, so the manager and the boss are just like a member of the team. And there's a simple example in the video. And in the low power distance culture, if we want to call a teacher, we should call them teacher or Professor Lee. However, if in the low power distance culture, we can just call the teacher's name like Eileen. So I think it's very useful if we want to work in a different country or foreign companies in the future. In conclusion, we think Group 7 did a great job. After their presentation, we learned many useful vocabularies, and we know the difference between high and low power distance culture. And this is the end of our comments. And let me give the floor to Group 4.
Everyone, welcome floor. I'm Kelly Zhou Qi. They are my team members, Judy Guo Hei and Sunny Xie Wenxin. Today we divided our comments into 3 parts. First, I will in charge of Group 7's vocabulary part, and then Judy will focus on their high and low context culture part, and last, Sunny will going to talk about their PowerPoint part. So let's focus on their vocabulary parts. Cindy and Fanny give us a very detailed information in the vocabulary part, which can let the audience to know the definitions more clearly and to learn the new vocabularies. And there are 3 vocabularies which impress me a lot. The first one is less than ideal. It means not good enough or unsatisfied with something. And the next one is remedy. If you use it as a noun, it means a medicine. If you use it as a verb, it means cure. And the last one is accommodation. It means a place where you can live or stay. So these 3 vocabularies are what I learned from them. And this is the end of my comment. Next, I will give the floor to Judy Guo Huiyu.
Hi, I'm Judy Guo Huiyu. I would like to talk about what I learned from the high-low context culture part. In this part, they not only put the Chinese definition on the PPT, but also tell us that part distance means the extent that people accept unequal distribution of power in society. And I want to talk about 3 points of each one. And I would like to talk about high context culture first. In high context culture, people will pay high attention to hierarchy, which represents an unequal level. Second, people speak formally and do not express their ideas openly. Third, superior shows initiative. On the contrary, in low context culture, people pay high attention to egalitarianism, which represents an equal level. Second, people speak informally and talk about their thoughts freely. Third, student shows initiative, and we appreciate them for giving us this knowledgeable information. And this is the end of my comments. I would like to give my floor to Sunny.
Hi, I'm Sunny Xie. Today I will lay emphasis on Group 7's PowerPoint design. Firstly, they use different colors to highlight their main points, and they put some pictures next to the vocabulary so that we could understand the definition more easily. In addition, they also put the Kenya and not and part of speech with the vocabulary so we could understand how to pronounce each words in the PowerPoint. And moreover, the background music in their PowerPoint sounds amazing, and it is full of atmosphere of Christmas. As we see, Group 7 really have done a good job. So let's give them a big hand. And we wish everyone a Merry Christmas. This is the end of our comments. Next, I'll give the floor to Group 5.
Good morning everyone, we are Group 5. I'm Tsailing. They are my team members, Ellie, Luwati, and Gigi Samiji. Our comment divided into 3 parts. I will talk about their stage performance, and Ellie will focus on their high-low contest culture part. Finally, Gigi will focus on their vocabulary part and give a brief conclusion. Now I'm going to talk about their stage performance. First, I want to talk about Fanny. I think Fanny is getting better and better than every last time. In this time, she gave a great introduction at the beginning of the presentation, and she gave a very clear explanation of the vocabulary. I can see that she really put a lot of effort in this presentation. Next, I want to talk about Cindy. I think Cindy is very professional. She gave us a very fluent speech and a very clear explanation of the vocabulary. And next is Lauren.
I think Lola is professional too. She has a very fluent speech and she looks very confident on the stage. And she introduced the high-low contest parts very clearly. And this is my comment. Now I will give the floor to Ellie.
I'm Ellie Ranting. I'm in charge of high and low contest culture parts. In this part, the group introduced the content which is very different from other groups. They talk about high and low power distance cultures. This is an interesting topic. I learned a lot from it. For example, they mentioned that when in a high power distance cultures, the relationship between the bosses and subordinates is one of dependence. On the other hand, when in a low power distance society, like the USA and Germany, the relationship between the both is is one of interdependence. This culture can appear in everywhere, such as it can clearly explain why most Taiwanese students are unwilling to express their opinions in classes. I think this group really gave us a very great introduction about these cultures. This is the end of my comments. Now I would like to give my floor to Gigi.
Hello everyone, I'm Gigi. In my part, I will talk about the vocabularies part. In this part, I think they really put a lot of effort because different from other groups, they separate the vocabulary part with the part like activity and the first vocabulary part and their listening part. I think this is a good way because this can, when we learned all vocabulary in the first part, maybe we will forget the meaning of some words, and in this way we can learn the vocabulary and listen in a different part, and we can know, oh, what is the meaning of this word. And in this part, I have two. There are two vocabulary impress me a lot, which are deteriorate and indigestion. As you see, I can't speak these two words fluently, but Fanny and Cindy can speak these two words fluently, so I really admire them. I think they really put a lot of words on speaking the vocabulary fluently. So in conclusion, they not only teach us a new topic of high-low contest culture about power distance, but also they use another way to teach us vocabulary can make us note more and can understand easily with every word. And they really have a perfect stage performance, so we think they really did a good job. This is our comments. Next, I will give the floor to Group 6.
Hello everyone, we are Group 6. I'm Jay Zhoubuji. These are my team members. Anna Hong Youhua, Jun Liang. And today we divided our comments into 3 parts. First, I'm in charge of their vocabulary part, and Anna will talk about their personal performance. And finally, Jun will in charge of their high and low contest culture. And in my comments, I think their vocabulary parts are really impressed me. They are not just introduce the vocabulary in Senior 2. The vocabulary are also provided in Activity 2 and Listening Practice. Because there are not so many difficult words in Senior 2, they spend more time on preparing the vocabulary apart from Senior 2, such as deteriorate or deteriorate. Okay, and accompanying minor and indigestion. And at this point, we can see they really put a lot of effort on this presentation, and I also really learned a lot from their vocabulary part. That's the end of my comments. Now I'm giving the floor to Anna.
Thanks, Jay. I'm Anna from Yohua. I would like to talk about their personal performance. First, I think Fanny improves a lot. Now she can give a presentation more confidently and fluently than before. And her volume is loud enough for all the classmates can hear easily. And moreover, as for the role play, she can give vivid facial expression. When she said, "What can we do?" she showed worried facial expression. In Lauren's part, she presents confidently and fluently as usual. She gave a clear explanation on part distance in high-low context culture. Finally, Cindy also did a great job as well. She appeared professional when she gave the definition of the vocabulary. This is the end of my comment. Next, I will give the floor to Jim.
Now I'm going to talk about the part of high-low context culture part. And in this part, I think that I learned some new knowledge, like power distance, which is very different from before. Power distance is the extent to which the lower ranking in individuals of a society accept and hope that the power is distributed unequally. People in societies with high power distance are more likely to conform to a hierarchy where everyone has a place and which needs no further justification, such as India and China. And in societies of low power distance, individuals tend to distribute power equally, like United States and Germany. All in all, I think this part is very interesting, and Group 7 really did a great job. Thank you. And now I'm going to give the floor back to Group 7.
Now I'm going to play a short video about our inside story.
Feedback. Are you going to talk about your feedback first?
Now we are going to give you our feedback. Actually, we didn't have too much time to get together and discuss the presentation, but my two team members are responsible and hardworking, so we can finish this presentation without difficulty. And I want to thank Liang, because when I came up with some new ideas, they always give me positive response. So I'm really happy to work with them. Now I will give the floor to Fanny.
However, I'm Fanny from I'm going to talk about my feedback. I'm happy to work with them because they're nice to me. They always check my words or transition words to make my sentence more smoothly or fluently. So I like to say thank you to them. So this is the end of my comment. Now I'll give the floor. No, this is the end of my feedback. Now I'll give the floor to Cindy.
Hello everyone, I'm Cindy. I think working with them is very happy, and they are very considerate because today I'm not very comfortable, and they are always asking me if I'm okay. I feel very 感动. Okay, yes, very touched. And they are very, working with them is very great experience, and we become best. We become friends. Thank you.
Thank you. Since many of you, are you going to announce the best commentator now, or do you need some time?
We need some time.
Okay. While they are discussing, let me give you some feedback about the address form. Can we talk about address form? Write this down, please. Since you all mentioned how to call your teacher in high and low context culture. Address, like your 住址, exactly the same spelling, but with different meaning. What does that mean? Address form? F-O-R-M. What is it? Address form 是你的地址形式吗？横的写，直的写，是吗？称谓 bingo 称呼语。给你们提一个醒儿，你们刚才都说 low context culture 的人，你可以直接叫你的老师名字，比方说他叫 Bob Smith， 你可以不用叫他 Dr. Smith， 你可以直接叫他 Bob。No，on your first encounter， 尤其是 low context culture 美国人，因为我们东方人学历泡沫化，但是在西方博士是很值钱的。当一个人有了博士，那个就变成他的名字的一部分。所以印名片的时候，比方说 Bob Smith 后面要一撇 PhD，PhD 什么意思？博士。所以你一定要先叫他 Dr. Smith， 除非他自己说 Just call me Bob。Then you'll be fine。你可以直接叫他 Bob， 但是你不能一见到他，哦，他的 first name 老师有教说 low context culture 要叫他 Bob， 那你就踩到雷，一定是 Dr. Smith， 除非他自己说 Just call me Bob。Keep that in mind。如果你是进入职场帮人家印名片，一定要去询问对方是不是有博士学位，如果有，就是在他名字后面一个逗点 PhD， 永远要称呼人家 Dr. 什么人。我们台湾也是啊，杨定一博士，你不是说他杨定一董事长，杨定。
The next commentator is Group 5. They mentioned a very important point. We separate the vocabulary. So we think you can memorize them more better. And they say they give comment on our stage performance and hello context culture. And we think it's very complete. Let's welcome Group 5.
Good morning, everyone. We are Group 5. I'm Tsailing. They are my team members, Liu and Gigi Samiti. Our comment divided into 3 parts. I will talk about their stage performance. Ali will focus on their high-low contest part. And finally, Gigi will focus on their vocabulary part and give a brief conclusion. Now I'm going to talk about their stage performance. First, I want to focus on Fanny. I think she really get better and better than every last time. In this presentation, she gave a good introduction at the beginning of the presentation, and she also gave us a clear explanation of the vocabulary. I can see that she really put a lot of effort in this presentation. And next one is Cindy. I think she is very professional. She has a fluent speech and give very clear explanation of a vocabulary. And the last is Lauren. She is professional too. She not only gave us the fluent speech, and she looks very confident on the stage. And in the high-low contest part, she gave a very clear introduction of the high-low power distance. And this is my comments. Now I will give a floor to Ellie.
I'm Ellie Ranting. I'm in charge of high and low power contest culture. In this part, the group introduced the content which is very different from other groups. They talk about high and low power distance cultures. This is an interesting topic. I learned a lot from it. For example, they mentioned that when in a high power distance cultures, the relationship between bosses and subordinates is one of dependence. On the other hand, when in a low power distance society, the relationship between the both is one of interdependence. These cultures can appear in everywhere, such as it can clearly explain why most Taiwanese students are unwilling to express their opinions in classes. I think this group really gave us a very great introduction about the cultures. This is the end of my feedback, my comments. Now I would like to give my floor to Juju.
Hello everyone, I'm Juju. I'm in charge of vocabulary part. I think they really put a lot of effort in this part because unlike other groups' presentation, they separate the vocabulary part into different parts, well, with different parts like activity and the first vocabulary part and in the listening part. I think this is a good way to help us memory the vocabularies, because if we just learn all vocabularies in the first part, we will forget the meanings in the after two parts and other sentence. So I think this is a really good way. And in this part, there are two vocabularies impress me a lot, which are deterrent and indigestion. I cannot speak these two vocabularies fluently, and Fanny and Cindy can speak these two words fluently. I really admire them. So I think they really put a lot of effort in this. And in conclusion, they not only teach us the new topic of high-low contest culture about power distance, but also they use different ways to teach us vocabularies and help us to memorize it easily. And furthermore, they really did like a professional, they really did professional in their stage performance. So we think Group 7 really did a good job. This is our comments. I will give the floor back to Group 7.